Welcome. Today we're talking about accounting for merchandisers. We're going to go through an example. In this video, I will show you the journal entries for the buyer, and in the next video, I will show you the journal entries for the seller. Let's get going. Capes R Us, the seller, sells capes to the Superhero Exchange, the buyer, who resells them to the public. Okay. On April 1st, 2020, the Superhero Exchange orders and receives 5,000 bulletproof capes from Capes R Us for a total of $15,000. So on the buyer side, we are going to debit inventory because we'll put these capes into our inventory until we sell them. And we're going to credit accounts payable. We know it's accounts payable because the next line says terms are 210 net 30 FOB destination. When we see terms that say 210 net 30, that means we are dealing with accounts payable. We're not paying cash on the day that we get the merchandise. Okay. The next entry says on 4/1/2020, the responsible party pays shipping costs of $20 to Freight Inc. Our terms are FOB destination. That means free onboard destination or free to the buyer. The seller is going to pay the transportation costs. And so while we are doing the Superhero Exchange, we have no entry on this date. Okay, on the 2nd of April, the Superhero Exchange returns 1,000 capes because they are in the signature color of their competitor, Villainicious Inc. Capes R Us returns the capes to inventory knowing they can include them in the next order from Villainicious. All right, the second sentence we don't care about as the buyer. We don't care what they do with them. All we care is that we're returning them. So if we are returning 1,000 capes, then we're going to debit accounts payable. Certainly not going to pay for what we return. And the amount is going to be $3,000. How do I know that? We bought 5,000 capes for $15,000. So if I do 15,000 divided by 5,000 capes, I get $3 a cape. So if we've returned 1,000 capes, we know we are returning $3,000 worth of capes. We are going to credit inventory. Those capes are no longer in our inventory, and so we're going to take them out. I'm going to take a moment to start filling in my T accounts. So first I bought inventory for $15,000 and credited accounts payable for $15,000. Now I'm reducing my inventory with a credit of $3,000 and reducing my accounts payable with a debit of $3,000. All right. Moving on April 3rd, after extensive in-house testing, the Superhero Exchange realized that 200 of the capes are not, in fact, bulletproof. Terrible. They returned the defective capes to Capes R Us, and the amounts removed from their bill. So again, we're not going to pay for capes that are defective. We've returned them. So we're going to debit accounts payable. This time we return 200 capes. 200 times $3 a cape will be $600. And we are going to credit inventory because again, these capes are no longer in our inventory, so we need to reduce the amount. It's going to be 600. Okay, so I'm going to go and reduce my inventory by 600 and reduce my accounts payable by 600 in my T accounts. Okay. Going down, the Superhero Exchange complains to Capes R Us that one of the box of capes smells like the Hulk and needs to be professionally cleaned before they can be sold. Capes R Us agrees to remove another $400 from the bill. All right, so we're going to debit accounts payable. So we don't need to pay that $400 now because it's been removed from our bill. Our credit is going to be inventory. Even though we didn't return any capes, the amount we are going to ultimately pay for the capes is $400 less. So the value of our inventory is $400 less. And I'm going to go up here and decrease inventory by 400 and decrease accounts payable by 400. All right. Finally, on 4/10, April 10th, Superhero Exchange remits payment, that means sends in payment, to Capes R Us for the amount due after taking advantage of any discounts. All right, let's see what our discount situation is. We have terms of 2, 10, net 30. So if we are paying within 10 days, we get a 2% discount. And in fact, since we're paying on the 9th or on the 10th, we are going to get a 2% discount. So what we're going to do is we're going to first figure out what is in our accounts payable T account. So it's going to be the $15,000 of the original invoice minus all of the adjustments that were made to our accounts payable account. That leaves us with $11,000. We are going to calculate our discount on that $11,000, not on the $15,000, because obviously they're not going to give us a discount on goods that we returned where they're not charging us for them. So we only get the discount on the amount that we actually still owe. So $11,000 times 0.02, which is the amount of our discount, is a discount of $220. And after we take our discount, $11,000 minus the $220 discount, we are going to owe $10,780. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to update this date really quick. Okay. We are going to debit accounts payable for the full $11,000. Because right now we have $11,000 sitting in our accounts payable account. After we pay the $10,780, we won't owe anything. So we're going to decrease our accounts payable by the $11,000 so that the account is zero and indicates that we don't owe anything. Then we are going to credit cash for $10,780. Okay. Now you can see we have a problem here. Our debits don't equal our credits. We need an additional credit of $220, which is the amount of the discount we took. And we are going to credit that amount to inventory. And we credit it to inventory because the value of the inventory should be what we actually paid. We didn't pay that $220, so we need to decrease our inventory by another $220. When we look at the final balance of our inventory, it's going to be the original $15,000 minus the $3,000 for the capes we returned, $600 for the capes that weren't bulletproof, minus $400 for the adjustment we got because they smelled like the Hulk, minus the $220 discount we took advantage of because we paid within 10 days. That gives us a value, sorry, that's on the wrong side. Let me just do that again really quick. Of $10,780. So the inventory that we have kept is worth $10,780, which is exactly what we paid for it. Okay, that concludes the buyer side of the transactions. Now we're going to go take a look at the seller side, and that will be in the next video. See you there.